Is Sweden really the Eurovision teacher's pet? Is their success pure talent? Or is there something happening behind the scenes? Today we're taking a deep dive into Sweden's Eurovision dominance. And trust me, the results might shock you. Let's go. Oh yes, this country with the iconic blue and yellow flag. You can recognize it from miles away. The landscapes, the culture, the beauty, and of course, the Eurovision wins. You probably remember this, and oh yeah, this again. Sweden is like the golden child of Eurovision. But why? Let's break it down. Melodifestivalen, Sweden's secret weapon. Every Eurovision country has a national selection. But Sweden? They don't just pick a song, they throw a whole mini Eurovision every year. Since 1959, Melodifestivalen has been Sweden's way of selecting their Eurovision entry. But why is it so effective? 1. The Swedish Songwriting Mafia. Here's a little-known fact. Swedish songwriters don't just write for Sweden. They write for almost everyone. Ever heard of Thomas G. Sun or Jimmy Johnson? These guys have written Eurovision songs for multiple countries. This means that Sweden doesn't just compete in Eurovision, they shape its entire sound. The Swedish high budget. If Melodifestivalen had a middle name, it would be expensive. Sweden doesn't hold back when it comes to production. Cameras, lights, LED walls, massive arenas. Melodifestivalen is basically Eurovision 2.0. And guess what? SVT spends 30 million Swedish kroner, 2.5 million euros, per year on this show. That's a budget, Sweden. Because Sweden knows the Eurovision formula. Swedish entries have patterns that make them successful. Strong melodies. Sweden is pop music royalty, producing hits for Britney Spears, The Weeknd, and more. Stunning visuals. They use high-tech staging, LED screens, and cinematic camera work. Jury-friendly songs. Swedish entries are polished and radio-ready, which juries love. Some Eurovision fans argue that Sweden plays it safe, avoiding risks. But guess what? It works. That's why they're almost always in the top 5. To the Nordic Voting Bloc theory. Now let's talk about something controversial. Voting blocks. Many people believe that Sweden gets unfairly high points from their Nordic neighbors, Norway, Denmark, Finland, and Iceland. But is that really unfair? Other countries do it too. Greece and Cyprus, Balkan countries, ex-Soviet nations. Interestingly, Sweden still ranks high even when you remove Nordic votes. This means jury favoritism might play a bigger role than regional voting. Connect the jury bias theory. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Juries seem to love Sweden, maybe a little too much. Juries gave Sweden 340 points. Televoters only gave it 243 points. Finland's Käärijä got 376 televote points, but still lost. Something doesn't add up, does it? This isn't the first time. 2015, Måns Zelmerlöw won because of jury votes, while Italy's Il Volo won the televote. 2018, Benjamin Ingrosso placed second with juries, but 23rd with televoters. After Lorene's Euphoria, 2012, Sweden's jury scores started skyrocketing. Did Lorene's massive success create a Swedish bias? Could it be that juries favor Sweden's polished, radio-friendly style over raw, fan-favorite performances? Food for thought. Is the EBU too friendly with Sweden? Some fans believe that the European Broadcasting Union, EBU, has a soft spot for Sweden. Why? Sweden's broadcaster, SVT, has major influence in EBU decision-making. Melodifestivalen sets trends. Other national selections copy their format. Eurovision production staff often have Swedish connections. Oops. Looks like Sweden has friends in high places. So, is Sweden really that good, or just overhyped? Sweden is one of the most successful Eurovision countries ever, tied with Ireland at 7 wins. But in recent years, more fans have questioned whether Sweden is actually favored by the voting system. What do you think? Do juries favor Sweden unfairly, or is Sweden just sending the best song?